life for me. Since Jesus set me free, there's no place I'd rather be, surrounded by my family. At the rodeos, concert halls, churches, fairs, antique malls, barnyards or truck stop, rolling down the blacktop, loading up and get gone, fueling up and moving on. There's no place I'd rather be. It's the highway life for me.
Welcome, everybody, to our program today. We have a guest speaker today. A local pastor, Dewayne Kissner, is with us. We're going to find out all about you, Dewayne.
Well, it's not a very interesting story, but thank you for inviting me, Gary. It's so good to meet Fred. I've heard so many things about him and about their ministry, and his lovely wife is here. She was my third and fourth grade teacher. She was the right person at the right time in my life. I was just so thrilled to see her. I told myself when she walked in, I'm not going to cry. I failed. But at that time in my life, my dad passed away. It was a tragic accident, and he was kind of the rock in our home. He was active in church, and when he passed, of course, Mom, she kind of struggled as completely, three little kids, completely understand, but kind of our home kind of got a little chaotic.
Of course.
So when you have teachers like that in your life, it made a lasting impression on me. After school, after I finished Wayne City, I went to the University of Illinois, and then I ultimately spent about 17 years with the Coca-Cola Company as an analyst.
Okay.
Yeah, those were some interesting times. I was married, and at the age of 30, I started having dreams. And in these dreams, God kept saying, I want you to preach my word. And,
right.
And I'm like, I thank you. Like, I go to church, I'll serve. No, not interested in that. That's probably out of my wheelhouse. As an analyst, you're naturally more comfortable in front of screens and less comfortable with people. So right. I was a natural introvert at the time, and I just didn't want that role for me. And I still remember it was August of 2000. I had a dream, and in the dream, the Lord said, "You either preach my word, or I'll take everything you have."
Oh my.
And I sat up in bed, and I just started crying. I'm like, God, why? Why are you doing this to me? My life is good. I have no interest in this. Like, I'll go to church, I'll pay my tithes, I'll do everything you asked me to do except that. And ultimately, I said, okay, God, this is what we'll do. So I approached my pastor and I started filling in for him. And at that time, I was married, and my marriage wasn't the best. I'll just be candid.
Right.
And I traveled a lot with my work. At that, I'm trying to put the timeline together on everything. But I traveled a lot. Predominantly, I think at that time I traveled to the Virginias a bunch and throughout Tennessee and Alabama. And I had a late night flight home one night. Got home, I don't know, 11 or 12 o'clock at night. I couldn't sleep. Mm-hmm. So I thought, I'm going to sit down and pay bills. And the checkbook was in my wife's purse. Well, I reached in there and there was no cell phone. And I knew the suspicions that I had were confirmed. And I went through divorce. Yeah. And that was unfortunate. And so I just went on with my life as a single man and believing that I would never preach again because that disqualified me from most pulpits. But oh Lord, I'll serve you wherever you see fit. But obviously this is not what you have for me anymore. And so ultimately, I called my mom one day. I don't even remember where I was or what state I was even in at that point. And she said, "Oh, by the way, Ruth Townsend's single." I said, "Really?" Well, all of us have, well, I shouldn't say all of us. You guys probably don't, because a lot of people have the one that got away.
Oh, sure.
The one that got away. Well, my one that got away was Ruth.
Oh, wow.
I can take you back to the spot where I first saw her in 1988. We were at the fairgrounds. I can tell you what she was wearing. I can tell you which direction she was facing. I can tell you like how many people she had surrounding her, and all of a sudden it just went. Said she's single. Oh. And I happened to have her dad Walt's phone number. Yeah. And he and I had kept up over the years because Walt is a lovely guy. We were always friendly, and so I called him. I said, "I hear Ruth's single. What's her number?" So I called her, and lo and behold, we've been married 16 years. Wow. So, oh my. Yeah, and it's been an interesting road. At first I still traveled a lot because my job, of course, this was pre-Zoom meetings. Now you can do everything through one of these or through a computer. But as you guys all well know, that wasn't the normal. Right. That wasn't reality, just even a few years ago. Yeah. So I still continued to travel a lot. And in 2012, she gets diagnosed with cancer the first time. Wow. And she's a 3-time cancer survivor. And I remember us having a conversation. She's like, "I need you to be home." I said, "Okay." I said, I literally had a meeting just recently that said, "Now you're going to have to travel even more." Because at that time, I would go into different plants and I would analyze a lot of their data and firmly make suggestions. Sure. And that required in-person visits. So I was on a plane a lot, or I traveled a lot by car. And she's like, we can't live like this. I said, fair enough. So I started putting my resume out and took a job in Mount Vernon, Indiana for a while, just to be home, and then ultimately moved into another area of my life, but I'll kind of be done with that part of the conversation. But she ultimately went through her first cancer battle real well. She did radiation, had surgery, radiation, went real well. In 18, it came back. And it came back with a vengeance in 18. And it's by the grace of God that she survived that one, because the people that were around her, even her medical professionals, questioned whether or not she was going to survive. So thankfully she did. That was such a blessing. The cancer returned in 22 for the 3rd time, and she's overcome all those by the grace of God. Like God has blessed her, and I just can't imagine, serving in the role I serve today without her beside me. Yeah, I mean, she's as important to me in the role I'm in as what Miss Mooney is in your role, for example. I know you guys serve in other areas together as well. Can't imagine, filling that role without her. Yeah. in 2018, I got to know Jason Mason real well.
Yeah.
You guys,
I know Jason.
you guys, I'm sure.
He's been here actually in a podcast.
The whole world knows Jason.
Yes,
Incredible guy.
he is.
He started sharing with me his vision for NYOC, and NYOC is an amazing place. I like to describe NYOC as like spiritual ER.
Oh yeah,
Like
that's a good description.
like it really is, because if you show up and you're broken,
Yeah.
like the people in that place will surround you, they will love you, they will
They
breathe
will.
life into you, and Wayne County is a better place
It is
because of Not Your Ordinary Church.
That's right.
I mean,
Amen.
they're reaching out to people that we would have never had the opportunity to serve in traditional churches. I can't say enough positive about NYOC and the ministry. And I spent, I'm still on the board there. I went to church there for several years. Well, up until just recently, I was pretty active. And I was also their treasurer.
Mm-hmm.
So enjoyed that time with him. Can't say enough positive about that. I knew a few years ago that I started having dreams again that I would pastor again. And I'm like, I'm good. I'll serve in a support role. I work and just serve in a support role. And I had a dream that I would pastor Canaan Bridge. And this would have been around, I'm trying to think of timelines, it would have been around 2021, I believe. And I think Josh Woods was the pastor there at that time. Josh stepped away, and then another man, John Sargent, took it. Taco, you guys probably all know him. He's incredible.
Yeah.
And I said, Lord, if this is you, then you open the door. I will pursue nothing, because I want you to be in it. And if you want me in that role, even though I'm divorced, I'll assume that role, but I will not pursue it. It has to land right here. It has to fall. So our oldest son, he is 33. Taco stepped away, went back and filled some more role, another role at NYOC. And just on a different note on him, he has wisdom far beyond his years as he ministers to those young men.
Right.
I can't say enough positive about the impact he's had in their lives. He just has divine wisdom from someone who's been in places that weren't good. So, but he went back, and they had several guest preachers, and I think they went and offered it to another individual, and that individual had actually accepted another position prior to them offering that. So they had to go back to the drawing board again. And so one night, I get home from NYOC. It's late Saturday night. It's, 10 o'clock or so. Well, my son calls me. And he said, hey, I'm supposed to preach at Canaan in the morning, and I'm sick. Can you fill in? I'm like, okay. I said, yeah, I can fill in if that. I said, you need to reach out to the elders and first ask them if it's okay. And if it's okay with them, then yes. I said, but I want you to be sure and tell them that I'm divorced.
Okay.
So they said, okay, we'll do that. We called them back and said, yeah, they want you to come. Well, that was November 24th of 2023. And there was an interim period there, and I became the pastor at the end of January. Mm-hmm. So a lot of good people there. Yeah. I don't know if you guys have ever had the opportunity to go. There's a lot of good people, and we're a relatively young church.
Yeah.
I've been in a lot of churches. I'm 54. I've been in a lot of churches where I'm like one of the young guys.
Oh yeah.
But like there, I'm one of the old people. So I get to enjoy being one of the old people. So that's one of the things that's exciting. We're really welcoming. Like our lobby is always full of people eating donuts on Sunday morning and
awesome,
greeting each other, and we never get started on time.
Okay.
We're supposed to start at 10, and then we backed it up 10:05. Well, 10:05, people are still sitting out there eating donuts and talking, and so finally, I don't know how well you guys know Mark Wells. He's on the radio. Mark does our announcements, and Mark just around 10:05 or 10:08 or something, he just starts doing announcements, and people will kind of just funnel in. So
I see.
We appreciate what Mark does. Mark's on one of the on the board. He does our announcements. He's pretty heavily involved.
Yeah.
We have a pretty active youth program. Miss Whitney leads our youth, and she has youth on Wednesday night, and she has a youth service on Sunday morning. They go and do fun stuff. Last month they went to Branson to some conference with the kids and had a nice time. Now, what I'm about to tell you is going to be really exciting. Okay. The third Sunday of the month, we have the kids in there with us. Mm-hmm. So I always have like a little sermonette where I pull all the kids up on stage with me, and I give them a candy and a toy, and we have a fun activity. And they're out there on Facebook if you ever want to watch any of them. But the fun part is the kids came to us and said, we want to lead the third Sunday in March. And they don't just want to lead. Yeah. They're going to sing, they're going to do communion, and they're going to preach.
All right.
And I said, okay, time out. I said, you can do this on one condition and one condition only. So what is it? I said, well, when I bring you guys up here, you walk away with candy. I said, so I want you to call the adults up there, have a fun game, and I want Reese's. So I even told them, I said, there's candy in my office you can use, but that's the expectation. I don't know what kind of game you're going to have, but you got to have a fun game for me and candy, and then you're in. So I'm looking forward to what I'm looking forward to what they have for us next week. I'm going to do my little sermonette for the kids this week and ask them to hold them in there just so we continue to do that, because I think they really enjoy that participation. That's that. Any questions on anything so far before I keep going?
No, that sounds like a great place to call home for a church. Somebody don't have a church. Why don't you tell everybody the name of your church, your website, and location?
Well, it's the Bridge Church. It's the old Canaan Bridge. We changed the name. It's 1452 Illinois Highway 15 over near Boylston. Mm-hmm. We're just on Facebook as the Bridge. Yeah. We don't have a website. Now, we have some really talented musicians. Of course, you guys probably know Dan Churchill, who leads our worship, and his wife helps sing. And Gina Bunting, she plays the bass and sings, and she's got the voice of an angel. She fills in on the piano if our piano player Catherine Baker's out, and Tristan Johnson, who is Wes Johnson's boy. You probably know Wes.
Probably should, but I don't.
he plays the drums, and so but they do a great job. And most of our congregation really they already know Jesus.
Amen.
So you're preaching to people who know Jesus. So most of the things we talk about are just living life as a Christian. Okay. Which can be challenging, because what do we do when we get overwhelmed? Yeah. We live in a broken world.
We do.
And how do I live by faith when I have so much doubt? Right. I mean, these are some of the hard things we talk about. And what do you do when your dreams have fallen apart and you feel like your life is shattered? So these are just some of the things, like depression and anxiety are real, and they're real with people in the church.
Amen.
So that's kind of the ministry that I tend to focus on. Mm-hmm. We talked a little bit about money. I've taught a couple sermons about the Jewish money mind. Mm-hmm. The Jewish nation are prosperous. Yeah. They're 6 times wealthier than we are. And our finances mirror that of non-Christians. Yeah. So we have focused on learning what the Bible says about money and how the Jewish people apply the principles of the Bible to their lives. We focused on that. And then we have a really active service in the altar. You guys probably know Gene Kolak.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Gene's one of our elders.
Good friend of mine.
At the end of service, we invite all the elders up there. And, of course, Gene's one of them. And Gene's also our Sunday school teacher, adult Sunday school. Does an incredible job. And then Billy Belangi, he's a local farmer. Okay, you know Billy. And then Jerry Thomason, I don't know if you guys know him. He drives a bus. But they join us at the front, and we're seeing revival. I mean, it's exciting to see how God's been moving, and not just there, but everywhere. Yes. We're hearing of revival everywhere, not just in our place.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's been exciting. Yeah. We, as a church, we financially support the Christian Motorcycle Association, CMA. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you guys have had them on your show.
Yeah.
No, we haven't yet.
We've had several Christian motorcyclists.
Carl Crackle,
Carl Crackle,
and
April,
who's Mad Dog?
Mad Dog.
That's Glad Dog now.
He's
They
Glad
used to
Dog.
call
He's
Glad
Glad
Dog.
Dog.
We have a guy they used to call Mad
I
Dog.
love that. That's awesome.
Now he's Glad Dog. But they were both, they're both big into the Christian motorcycle
Yeah.
thing. And of course, Cliff Clark.
And
Clark's
Cliff,
big
and,
into it.
and also a couple others. My mind is trying
And
to think of
David Wall has a lot to do with
David
it. too.
Wall and Mad Dog are buddies.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They run together.
One bit, he says, call me Glad Dog now. Not Mad Dog.
That's awesome.
Glad Dog, yeah. I can't think of the name of their motorcycle group, but it's a big one. I know that.
They may be seeing. Are they from Mount Vernon?
No, they're from the Carl Cracker's from Missouri,
Okay.
and then a couple of the others are from Indiana, and Cliffy lives right here in Mayberry. Down there, he's your neighbor.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Where you used to live, right
Yeah.
down there. And but they're all over. It's international.
Yeah.
It's all over the place.
Yeah, it's,
And I can't think of their name right now.
We financially support CMA, and we have, I think, about 14 of the CMA
Yeah.
members attend church with us.
when I had my bike, I was a member of CMA.
Were you? Okay. We even poured motorcycle parking, got designated
All right.
motorcycle
All
parking
right.
just to welcome them in. And of course, our ladies group, they have fun stuff. And the guys, I like to do maybe a little bit different stuff, fun stuff. Like all us guys, we went to a hockey game last month. I'm
Awesome.
sorry, it's March now. It was the end of January.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's fun stuff.
Yeah.
You know, when people have fun together,
Sure.
grow closer together.
You know, I was in the Church of God when I was in the CMA, and there's about 8 couples. We all had bikes.
Uh-huh.
And Sunday afternoon, we go around and visit all the other people in the church on the bikes and wake them up from their Sunday afternoon nap.
There you go.
Yeah. But anyway, that was our visitation program.
There you go. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Now, how I met Gary, we met at the weekly prayer service. We're having community-wide prayer service now, and
Yeah.
that's been incredible.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about that.
Well, I think that started, and help me, correct me if I'm wrong, this is the 5th week?
I don't know. I've only been to one. That was at your church.
I
Because
think-
they have it on Thursday, and we have our conference call where our church, we have a telephone church,
Okay,
and ours is on Thursday nights.
okay.
So I can't do yours. You changed because you had something going on Thursday.
Yeah, they typically have it on Thursday night, and
Yeah.
it's just a group of people throughout the community. There's pastors, there's people that aren't pastors, and
Yeah.
we get together and pray. It's been an amazing experience. And
Right.
I hope that was
It
your
was,
experience.
yeah.
And we had it last night at Real
Yeah.
Life, and when we have it at our church, it's going to be Wednesday night, just because
I can make Wednesday.
We can make Wednesday. We can't make Thursday.
we would love to have you guys if you can come. But that's really been, you can just feel the earth moving
Oh, yeah.
in the community
Yeah.
with what started there with Robert Coker
Yeah.
and Ed Foley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I brought Big Tom with me. Tom Price.
Yes,
And he was
Yes.
he was blown away by what was going on there.
he has texted me several
I
times.
bet, yeah.
He's awesome.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Great heart. He's got a good heart.
You guys, I thought you were brothers.
No, just brothers in Christ.
Well, you guys could pass as brothers.
Yeah, he's a big guy. I remember at one of our first conferences, he showed up down there at Carmine, and Tony Mack was there, and he's about as Tom's size.
Okay.
And I had a picture. I wish I still had it, but I had a picture of me and Tom and Tony Mack, and I was in the middle, and I looked like a little bitty guy. And I ain't little.
Well, we get in the altar on Sundays, and I'm not a very big guy.
Yeah.
And of course, you got Gene Kolak there.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
a big
yeah,
boy. He's
yeah.
big. And Billy Belangi there, he's big. I told
Yeah.
him more than once. I said, man, I feel like a middle schooler asking for lunch money standing between you guys. Because, they're this much taller than me.
Yeah, that's the way I felt between them two guys.
That's hard for me to believe that you'd ever feel that way.
Oh man, it don't happen very often. But both of them 6'7" or something like that.
Oh, my.
and bulky.
Yeah. They take up space, huh?
They take up a lot of space. And me, I'm just a little old 6'3" guy.
Oh yeah, little guy.
But yeah, great. Tom had a great time. He really enjoyed your church, and he wants to go back.
We'd love
So
to have
he'll
him.
be back one of these days.
He told me he was living in Indianapolis. Is that correct?
Yeah, south of India, a little
Okay.
ways. Yeah.
So I'm 110% for all the churches getting together and praying, working together. I think if the churches would work together and unite, you wouldn't have all these liquor stores and all these
Oh.
gambling
Oh
establishments.
my.
I really
Yes.
believe that,
Yes. Yes.
and that's just my pet peeve.
I've said I hate. Of course, I served as a treasurer for a number of years, and I hate these gambling
Yeah.
houses.
Yeah.
Like it.
And the problem is most gamblers aren't rich people.
Oh,
It's the poor people trying to get
Yeah.
ahead.
yeah.
That's what the lottery is. It's poor man's tax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just takes advantage of poor people.
And you're so right about. I read a lot. I know a lot about Jewish and their money, and I'm telling you, if we would just study the Bible and handle our money the way the Bible tells us to handle
Yes.
our money,
Yes.
we'd be so much better off.
Yes.
I mean, we
Yes.
would be way
Yes.
ahead.
Yes. It,
That-
it tells you the opposite of what the world tells you.
That's how me and Miss Kitty got ahead. I'm here to tell you.
All right. Well, go ahead with your.
That's really all I had. You mentioned about the churches getting together. Like last night at the prayer service at Real Life, a group of us, kind of talked about having a community-wide church service and possibly even maybe a sunrise service.
Oh,
We may not be able to put that together given the timeline, but I look for that to come.
Yeah. Well, that would be great if we could just get our
Okay.
churches involved
Yeah.
in everything that's going
I'm
on.
for
Work
it
together.
110%. I'm here to tell you.
Well, it'd be good to see you there.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing here. We're trying to bring ministries together, churches together to for one reason. That's to stretch a net across America, for the harvest is near.
Yes.
And we've got to get to work and got to reach people. When you talk about when God called you to preach, and when God called me to start a tape ministry, I knew I wasn't capable, and I'm still not. But with God, we can do all things. I mean, He gives us everything
Yes.
we need. And I struggled with starting a tape ministry for over a year, or about a year, and I finally surrendered one day. Driving down the road, I heard a message by David Ring, and he's got cerebral palsy, and he said, "I've got cerebral palsy. What's your excuse? Why aren't you doing what God's called you to do?" And I threw my hands up in the air and I said, "Okay, God, I surrender." And I said, "Lord, if I could just win one person, one soul, it'll all be worth it." And I remember the first time I got a call from a driver out on the road. He was in Ohio, and he just listened to one of the cassette tapes, and he'd give his heart to the Lord. And it brought me to tears.
Oh, man.
And I thought, Lord, that's so awesome. That's what I asked for, one. But Lord, can I just have one more? And I've been doing this ministry like that ever since. Every time somebody gives their heart to the Lord, I just praise Him, thank Him, and ask for one more. And that's what we need to do in our churches and in our communities. Lord, just give us one more.
Yes.
And if we could get one more coming to your church, that would make it so much gooder. And that's a Tony Mack word. Good.
There you go.
I love that. I love Tony Mack, and I love his heart that he had. We lost him in 2016, but he was a great part of our ministry, and still one of our most requested testimonies that we have here at Lonesome Road Ministry. So we have enjoyed having you here,
thank you.
Pastor. And if you've got a short message that you want to share, we've still got a little bit of time. You got something on your heart?
Well, we're going to have a really difficult sermon Sunday.
Okay.
Probably one of the hardest ones I've ever preached.
You want to practice here? You can.
Well, I don't know that I want to practice, but I'll tell you what I'm going to preach on.
All right.
I'm going to preach on loving people that hate you.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, loving and unlovely. Yeah, that's a real trick.
All of us we've all been hurt by somebody.
Yeah.
There's probably somebody in your life now that Satan has dispatched to speak against you, to try to hurt you, to try to curse you. But what's the Bible tell us? The world will tell you, get them back, go after them, stand up for yourself. It's not what Jesus told us to do in the Sermon on the Mount.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk. I enjoy classic music, classic movies, and classic sports.
Okay.
So I'm going to tell them a little bit about one of the greatest rivalries of all time in sports.
Uh-huh.
Greatest rivalry of all time in sports was Magic Johnson,
Yeah.
Larry Bird, and they hated each other.
Uh-huh.
Hated each other. You know what changed that relationship?
Jesus Christ.
Well, I'd love to say it was Jesus Christ. I'm sure he had a hand in it. They were East Coast, West Coast.
Yeah.
They hated each other from college, hated each other in sports. Well, Converse signed a shoe deal with both of them and then told them, we're going to make a commercial with you two. And neither one wanted to go to the other location to make the commercial because they hated each other.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how they convinced him to do it. They got Magic Johnson to come to French Lick, Indiana, and they shot a commercial at Larry Bird's mom's house.
Wow.
Because he wasn't going to go to Boston where Larry Bird lived, but they agreed to meet him in the middle of the country, and they didn't speak to each other throughout the commercial. Then it's lunchtime, and Magic Johnson goes to his trailer to eat lunch, and Larry Bird didn't speak to him the whole time. And he goes out and knocks on the trailer. He says, "My mama wants you to in the house for lunch." And then he went inside. The Georgia Bird hugs Magic Johnson, and then at that point, a lifelong friendship followed.
Wow.
Just because some mom made lunch and said, "You're
That's
doing
right.
the right thing, son. Go get it."
Yeah.
That's how we're supposed to be.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
So that's a preview of what's coming Sunday.
Wow. This Sunday?
This Sunday, love people
All
who
right.
hate you.
And
I hope that's your illustration.
That's my illustration. You got the preview.
all right. Well, if you can't make it to Pastor Dwayne's church, you can watch it on Facebook.
You can.
Yeah, so you can check it out on Facebook. The name of the church is Bridge.
The Bridge.
Yep, the Bridge on Facebook. So check that out. Follow the Bridge Church and follow Pastor Dwayne and contact him. Let him know you heard him right here on Lonesome Road Ministries and our radio podcast program. So
Thank you, guys.
Yeah,
I appreciate
thank you.
being invited.
yeah, well, we are thrilled that you're here, and we don't like to close any program though without asking our listeners. You know, there's listeners out there right now that don't know Jesus Christ, and they've tuned into this maybe by accident or maybe God has drawn them to them, and we don't like to close any program without asking them if they know Jesus Christ and letting them know that they can be saved, and all it takes is them to open up their heart and cry out to Jesus and ask him to come into their life. And he will do it every time.
Yes,
He will do it every time. He did it for you.
absolutely.
When did you get saved?
Well, I'm a mess, but I did get saved my dad.
Yeah.
My dad was real. I'm sorry, that's incorrect. I was 6. Dad passed when I was 8. When I was 6. Yeah.
Okay. 6 years old.
Yeah.
I was telling somebody the other day that you was coming in to give your testimony, and they, of course, they talked about your dad.
Yeah.
And they said, "Oh man, when he got saved, God done a work in his life, and he became a brand new creation."
Yeah.
And that's what God wants to do for our listeners out there is
Yes.
make them into a new creation that will serve him for the rest of their life.
Yes.
And it's that easy. All you got to do is surrender and say, "Lord, save me," and he will do it.
Yes.
Amen.
Have you ever wanted a safe place to watch great shows or leave the TV on for your children and grandchildren? Are you looking for family-friendly television or biblical studies with informative programming? Let me introduce you to CrossFlix. From children's cartoons to in-depth studies to inspiring music, CrossFlix is an ever-growing community of broadcasting developed for the family, now available for Apple iOS, Apple TV, Roku, Fire TV, and Chromecast. Go now to crossflix.com/lonesome road and get a free trial. CrossFlix, entertain, educate, inspire.
Hello, Lonesome Road family. James Payne here, coming to you from the cab of my pickup truck. I'm holding in my hand two seeds that will not reproduce. One is this $100 bill. The other is this peach seed. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why won't they reproduce? Well, the main reason this seed, this peach seed, and this $100 seed will not reproduce is because both are in my hands. If I take this seed and I put it in the earth, it will activate the 17 nutrients of the earth, and they'll be attracted to the seed, and they'll create a resurrection and a multiplication. If I take this seed and I put it in the kingdom, then it'll activate the power of the kingdom and the promises of Jesus, and a resurrection will take place in this seed, and also a 100-fold multiplication of this seed. So you see, God has given you and I, in the natural and in the spiritual, the ability to sow a seed and see that seed multiplied. Just this week, I received a letter from a lady whose house was in foreclosure. She called the mortgage company numerous times, but they would not return her call because the date had been set for her foreclosure and for her eviction. She saw me on television preaching on the power of planting one seed in the right place at the right time. She got together $1,000 seed and she sowed it. A few days later, the mortgage company called her, and they discounted her payment $569 a month, canceled the eviction, and now she's able to keep the house that she's been paying on for 15 years, but had gone through a difficult situation because of her job. But now her future in her home has been secured through a seed. I'm going to ask you today to plant a seed in Lonesome Road Ministries. Some of you could plant $1,000 seed. Some of you could plant $100 seed. I want to ask you to plant your best seed today. But I also want you to become a monthly partner with Chaplain Rayburn and this great ministry that's touching over 8,700,000 truckers that run up and down the highway. We have the potential through this ministry to touch their lives and change them. Let me tell you, when you sow into that type of ministry, you're going to get a quick harvest and you're going to get a 100-fold harvest. So don't delay. Sow your seed today.
Concert halls, churches, fairs, and antique malls, barnyards or truck stops, rolling on down that blacktop, loading up and getting gone, fueling up and moving on. There's no place I'd rather be. It's a highway life for me. There's no place I'd rather be. It's a highway.